Yes, my relationship with Little Saigon is very intimate and very personal. I grew up here. My family business was established in Little Saigon, and I'm the second generation owner of a small family business called Advanced Beauty College in Little Saigon. Um, Little Saigon for me dates back to the 80s, and we had a home in Westminster. Our business was in Garden Grove that we leased out. Eventually, my parents retired from that business in 1999, and my sister and I became the owners of that business. Little Saigon, beyond living here during that time, as well as working here full time, Little Saigon to me is a place where I'm raising my children now. So my wife has moved into Little Saigon with me. Our three children that are now 15, 13, and 10 are born and raised in Little Saigon. We Beyond working and living here, we go to school here, we go to all the cultural events here, we eat here at all the restaurants. Everywhere we go is a family, friend, or relative in Little Saigon. Um, when you ask me, what is your identity? I say I'm a Vietnamese American from Little Saigon. Yeah, the history of Vietnamese Americans in Orange County is several several waves. We're part of that first wave, that 1975 wave that came on the first wave as a result of the war. Many of us had fathers, or like my dad, who was a South Vietnamese Navy military commander. Um, being a very high-ranking military South Vietnamese Navy after war, he was on the high list to leave and come. So we're part of that first wave. Second wave was my cousins and aunts were part of the second wave. They were called the ODP, part of the boat refugees that departed Vietnam after us. And there was a program in the U.S. called ODP, a national program called ODP, which stood for Orderly Departure Program, which helped Vietnamese family members. Subsequent to that, there was an HO program from the national government, and that stood for Humanitarian Operation. And so many of my dad's employees at our family business, our Advanced Beauty College, were many of his colleagues from the Humanitarian Operation. And these were very highly educated, highly skilled Vietnamese professionals that ended up in concentration camps or prisoners of war that made it to Orange County later on. And so they were part of the HO group. And of course, subsequent to that, many refugees were families, core family members, immediate family members of those who had fled. So there were multiple waves of the Vietnamese refugees, whether it's the first group of refugees that left after the fall of Saigon in 1975, whether it's subsequent boat refugees, or the two that I mentioned, ODP and HO as well. Gosh, it's changed dramatically. It's gone through generational changes. It's gone through cultural changes. It's gone through economic changes. Little Saigon, what I see it as today, where we sit, is a very different Little Saigon. It's a Little Saigon that my children, as third generations, are coming through. As I look at and reflect on my own family business, I'm a second generation, sometimes 1.5 generation, because I was born in Vietnam. My sister and I own a very different business than what mom and dad ran. Mom and dad would have been called a small mom and pop business. My sister and I have been able to, through our Cal State Fullerton education and our MBAs there, have been able to elevate our business. And now, gosh, getting mentors and getting professional services, we're able to even grow our business now outside of California and have an East Coast presence for our business. So certainly Little Saigon looks different. I think of iconic brands, and I think of one of my favorite brands from Little Saigon that started in Little Saigon is Seven Leaves Cafe. This is the Asian Starbucks, started by four brothers who were in Garden Grove that lived in a one-bedroom apartment off mattresses. These four brothers who became professionals themselves, getting six-figure jobs, working in high professional jobs, gave up that dream to start a business. And they started the business in a very difficult segment to compete with the Starbucks and open Seven Leaves Cafe. Now they're they're a brand that started and gave birth in Little Saigon. And to be able to sit here with pride and say they've grown to over 30 locations, over 1,000 team members, and make over millions of cups per year, and are a national brand recognized. That's what Little Saigon today looks like. And you're going to be speaking to so many others in this series that are professionals, not only in Little Saigon, but are state and national professionals. Viet of the Recess Room is creating a restaurant that's grown. I'm so proud as a big brother. My younger sister, Lynn, who was born here on Thanksgiving Day in 1975, she's now a national leader as the premier expert in the nails industry. When it comes to the nails industry, there's no better expert than my sister Lynn, and she's a product of Little Saigon. She started teaching in Little Saigon 30 years ago, right here in Garden Grove, at now what we're very proud of. It's the largest training facility for manicures, and that's my own sister. So those are things I'm very proud of. Little Saigon looks very different today. It's not your mom and pop Little Saigon first generation anymore. It's I've got many non-Vietnamese friends that I proudly bring to Little Saigon to have a meal with now. Absolutely. It's a very, very challenging topic, one that hits close to home. During the pandemic, the Asian hate has risen tremendously, and unfortunately in Orange County the numbers show through the Orange County Human Relations as well as through the Orange County District Attorney Todd Spitzer's office, the numbers are staggering. We had more Asian hate crimes and more hate crimes in general during the pandemic than we had 20 years previously. Asian hate is on the rise, in not only here in Orange County, but throughout the country. It's been a very difficult time to look Asian. I personally have experienced mean words, being blamed for COVID, because it said COVID started in Asia. Also being blamed, there was a statement that COVID in California started in a nail salon. That's my industry. 80% of nail salons are Vietnamese. We own a beauty college that's graduated 50,000, mostly Vietnamese graduates over the last 35 years. These are detrimental words and unfortunately, Asian hate is with us. It's something we live with. I was called mean words as a kid growing up, and I put it to bullying or kids just being dumb and mean, being called ching chong, nip, gook, slanted eyes. I was teased by all of those words on the playgrounds, and being to society as a business owner, as a leader in the community, and it's still very, very prevalent. There are wonderful, wonderful, iconic places throughout Little Saigon, Orange County here, and I'm so proud that I've been able to host so many groups and delegations, from the LA Chamber of Commerce to state officials and national officials, from Sacramento and Washington, D.C. to Little Saigon. Many our university leads, our chancellors and presidents of UC Irvine and Cal State Fullerton, my alma maters, have visited Little Saigon. So many out-of-state friends have visited Little Saigon. Even other ethnic groups, so many other ethnic group friends have visited Little Saigon. And there's so many places to take them. There's never enough time. But some of the highlights that are must-go-tos is certainly going to one of the amazing restaurants that Little Saigon has to offer. Anthony Bourdain said, Vietnamese food is the kitchen to the world. And what a compliment from an amazing person. We also have iconic landmarks. One of the most iconic landmarks is the Asian Garden Mall. There is no Vietnamese in the world. There's 5 million of us outside of Vietnam, and there's 100 million Vietnamese within Vietnam. And everyone knows about Asian Garden Mall in Orange County, right on Bolsa Avenue. Mm-hmm. Bolsa Avenue has become such an incredible avenue and name that people literally just say Bolsa and it's bigger than the city, it's bigger than the county, it's bigger than the state. The word Bolsa has become part of the lexicon of Vietnamese around the world. So Bolsa Avenue is certainly a corridor. We have the best temples and churches, the biggest ones, the most prestigious and iconic temples and churches here in Little Saigon in Orange County for both the Buddhist and Catholic communities, which are the two largest religious denominations within the Vietnamese community worldwide. So to have those places of religion and sacred places here and to have the largest ones is amazing. Beyond Asian Garden Mall, there's incredible businesses. I've already mentioned a couple of my favorites, like Seven Leaves Cafe and others. And there's crawfish. You name the food. Pho, of course, we're the icon of pho. We brought pho and banh mi to the mainstream, and so the best pho restaurants in the country. I've personally been to 40 out of 50 states and tried pho everywhere. Orange County's still the best, and I'm proud of that. I'm also very honored that our business, Advanced Beauty College, is one of the businesses that many elected officials, many chamber leaders, and many university leaders visit because just understanding the nuance and the history of why are there so many Vietnamese in the nails industry? Why do so many Vietnamese do nails? And we get to be part of that story, which is an honor for me to share and tell.